It's time for Measure Twice.
Welcome to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini along with Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors and Joel Graber from Graber Custom Remodeling. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential. And you're listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. We're brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply. Everything windows, doors, cabinets, and countertops. With the showroom now open in Granger next to C. Kramer Interiors. And Hoosier Hardwood Floors, Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You can visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. We are in the middle of our second summer here.
Yeah.
It's pretty...
Oh, I was going to say, never mind.
What were you going to say, Chris?
Second summer here? We've been here longer than 2 summers.
Shoot, it's just warm. You guys must like that outside, Joel, if you have outside stuff going on.
Yeah, I'll take this.
You'll take it. But I think with work, if you're like thinking about doing your home, you're not necessarily always thinking about like the weather. Like if you need siding, you need it. If it's snowing or like if it's a need,
Well, hopefully you don't need siding that badly.
Well, if you get woodpeckers, we talked about that.
Well,
they can. You're right, but siding probably doesn't fall off the house necessarily unless you had a storm or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's good weather. It's not like what'll happen is Halloween, it'll still be sideways snow and so it'll figure out how to have bad weather for these poor little kids running around out there.
And it starts changing next week, I guess.
Yeah?
Yep.
All right, that's good. Well, you don't get any trick-or-treaters out by you, do you?
Nope.
They're called vagabonds.
Yeah.
Train hoppers.
Yep, that's the one downside.
Yeah, it's not a little neighborhood.
No, I always like giving out candy to the little kids. It's fun. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. You're old where you used to live. You
hundreds of them.
Yeah, you'd get a lot.
Give them in droves.
You were in the big candy bar neighborhood.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about that neighborhood.
Yeah.
You don't get fun size candy at Chris's place. You get the 2-hander Snickers bar.
You have to start budgeting in January for Halloween.
Well, well, just like anything else, the cliche is Halloween stuff's been out for a long time.
Yeah.
Like,
Now that's all the Christmas stuff has been out for a long time.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah.
I hate that.
But when would you start decorating for Christmas?
When would I?
Yeah. I know I know you kind of go all out.
Well, last year I waited too long. I should have started in November before Thanksgiving. Getting the lights outside. You don't have to plug them in just because it's just a lot of stuff.
Oh, if you're putting the lights out, you're plugging them in.
No, I'm not.
No. What's your...
Not till after Thanksgiving.
After Thanksgiving. And do you put lights up too, Joel?
No.
No? You seem like I put lights up guy.
No, not for a number of years now.
Do you have put them up?
Yeah.
It's festive. Put them up.
We do other stuff, but yeah, it's like, man.
You put a
My
wreath.
house is big enough. I don't need.
Yeah, you got to get up, right? It's 2 stories, so...
Oh, I don't put them on. I just put them in bushes. I don't put them on the house.
Okay, good. Because I was like, here's another reason for Chris to get on a ladder.
No, I don't have that kind of landscaping. So,
nope. I just put it in the bushes and that's it.
I'm thankful that I don't live in a huge Halloween decorated neighborhood.
I don't get that.
I don't get that.
I don't do the skeletons and stuff like that. I just
giant spider.
I don't do anything for Halloween.
I don't either. I mean,
maybe pumpkins without, I'll do fall decorating maybe, but not.
Oh, there are people
Halloween.
that they go.
Oh, I know.
They kind of go over the top.
I know.
And it bothers Joel.
It does. I think it's.
You come home and there's a giant spider on your house with spider web. But I guess if that's what you're into, it's your house. You can do that. There was always, growing up, there was one house that would always have a haunted house. Like you'd go and as a kid, I thought it was hilarious, fun. But as a grown up, as an adult, I'm like, man, that's a lot of work. I mean,
yeah,
a lot of work and a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of that, it's not cheap to have Frankenstein walk around your yard. I mean, that takes bank, and I'm just, Just questioning if you have a car that doesn't run in your driveway, what are you doing? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Stereotyping that.
What about this 2-story skeleton that you see in people's?
Oh my god, yeah. Or the giant inflatables. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about those plastic. No, the actual skeletons that are like 20 feet tall.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You haven't seen those?
No.
Oh my gosh, they're huge.
And they're attached to the house?
No, they're freestanding.
What?
You know what I'm talking. You've seen
I've
them.
seen them, yeah.
Oh my! They're freestanding.
Yes.
So it comes with some sort of thing you got to drive into the ground.
Yep.
You got to call 811.
They're huge. Yeah. I mean, they're huge.
Oh, 811.
I
need to dig a hole for my skeleton.
What's the purpose of this hole? I got some bones. I got to take care. Would that be funny? The conscientious mob. We can't bury over there. We didn't call 811.
Yeah.
Make sure it's all right.
What are you doing? Well, I got some bones to take care of here.
But the reason why I was kind of like focusing on this is because I had to find it, and Joel caught me like looking it up. But I ran across a term that I don't know if we've talked about before, but it's a mood board.
Oh.
And I'm not, and I have the definition of a mood board, but like, do you use mood boards, Chris?
Yes.
When you're doing that?
Yep. They used to be called a presentation board.
What's your definition of a mood board?
A mood board is a collage of images that kind of show the project or the design of a project.
So it's like samples of other projects that kind of give you the feel.
Yeah, just to kind of give you, I'm thinking this is the look we're after, and you show them photographs of rooms that kind of mirror what they're thinking.
And you do those?
Yeah.
And are they electronic now, or are they?
It's all computer.
Is Pinterest just a mood board?
Yep.
Yeah.
Where you can pin things to so it's a little different because you pin things, but it's essentially a mood board.
Right.
Gives you an idea of what style they're after and
that's
the look they're after.
Preliminary stage.
Yes. Preliminary, and then we also do it as a collage of items that we're putting together that shows the furniture selection and fabric selection and things of that nature.
Because there's a difference between that and like the palette.
The palette's the finished product, pretty much.
So
the palette is, yeah.
Yeah.
But when they used to be presentation boards where you would put fabric on the board, finished samples, photographs of the furniture.
So there'd be all kinds of different things on that. Like there'd actually be like items.
Yeah, it's basically, here's your room. Huh.
And it keeps you on track, right?
The customer knows what they're getting, essentially.
And the color scheme and the textures and all that are
because your fabrics are on there, your finished samples are on there, the room drawing is on there, the furniture layouts, furniture selections, they're all on a mood board. That
mood board's something you work together with then, right?
It's like an inspirational board, essentially. A mood board is more of inspiration.
Do the customers have to come with it, or you guys create it?
No, we create it.
You guys create it based on what you've talked about.
Right.
Okay, because when I wanted to talk about today is like, okay, you've started, like, let's say you start a project and that project's in motion, right? It's happening.
The mood boards happens before the project starts, typically.
Okay. And then as the project goes, you might scrap stuff from that or add stuff to it. Or does it just go away after that? Once you're ready, set, go.
It doesn't really
so much
it doesn't really go away. It's always there as your inspiration, but things can change throughout the process.
It's funny to me how little tools like this exist in both of your realms. It's really funny when you're doing preparation for a show to like, oh, okay, I think it's, this is a cool part of the process. But then you read articles and they make it sound like, oh, if you don't have a mood board, you can't even move forward. And I'm like, it made me go, how important is this thing?
Huh.
Is it super important? Is this like, If you don't have one of these, you're not ever going to have a finished product?
No.
I didn't think so. And I might forward you the articles. But it was like several articles are like, oh, well, without a mood board, we don't even, you're not serious if you don't have that. I'm like, I don't know, man. That seems like.
Depends on the scope of the project, too, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But they are important. It's a form of communication as far as it helps people visualize what their finished project will look like.
Because the beginning is so important to the rest of the project.
I mean, because you base selections and things like that off of that, right?
Mm-hmm. They're on there.
Right.
And when we come back, so I'm glad you brought up the S word. When we come back, let's talk about the S word in design build. When we come back, this is Measure Twice. To Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Joel Graber from Graber Custom Remodeling and Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors. This is the show, this right here is the show that helps you envision your home's potential. And you're listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. We're brought to you by Leatherman Supply. Everything windows, doors, cabinets, and countertops, with the showroom now open in Granger, right next to C. Kramer Interiors. And Hoosier Hardwood Floors, Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You can visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. So we kicked off the show with talking about a mood board, which kind of sets the theme of your project. And you know what, Joel, I didn't ask. Like in your projects, your mood board really is it's a blueprint, isn't it? Like it's not, or is it? Or do you? You know, because the rubber's meeting the road when you're.
Blueprint's kind of more like that's the plan.
That's the plan.
That's what you can't move forward without.
Yeah. That stops everything.
Yeah.
It's funny when you have the proper design beginning, right? The blueprint can happen, I suppose. But you need that planning. We talk about that a lot. But you had said selection in the last segment, and I feel like that's something that people. I don't know that anybody devotes enough time to the time it takes for selection. Would you agree with that? Like, oh, you're gonna pick this, and then we're gonna get it, and then it's gonna go in, and it's like selection can be time consuming.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
Chris.
Yeah, it's very time consuming,
and almost. And we're talking about selecting. That's the part. That's not ordering. That's not waiting for things to come in. That's not.
This is all prep.
It's all prep. Why? What Research. What are some of the obstacles that created delay in? Well, let's first start by when we talk about selection. Let's just define it. What do I mean? What are we telling the audience when we were using the word selection? What are we talking about?
The selections you're making for the project, whether it's, depends on what the project is, essentially, but typically a mood board is done for, if you're redoing a room, it could be a room, it could be a whole house. So the selections are, if you're putting in your flooring, your or carpet or window treatment, fabric, furniture, lighting, all of that,
all your colors,
paint, all of that's on a mood board.
Yeah, it's like a list of things that have infinite choices,
but artistically placed on a board, so that it's, you might see you might have a room inspiration, and that you might have that on the mood board, or an exterior of of a house you like, and that's your inspiration for this project. So that's all on a mood board. Because
selection is hard, and without that mood board, it's really hard, because if you don't start giving some parameters, right?
Yeah, you have to determine, there's certain things you have to determine, right? Like the architectural style or things like that will help.
Then sometimes there'll be options of different lighting options. Like, for example, you can have an option 1 and an option 2. So on your mood board. So just helps the client visualize what their space is going to look like, or their exterior or interior is going to look like.
Because there are probably some clients that can't get everything they want, So they have to. Their selection process is an elimination process, or the things are eliminated by for whatever reason. And then there are some clients that could do whatever it is that they want, and that's
always a process of elimination.
I guess. Yeah, I know. I caught myself when I said that. I was like, I guess it's always elimination,
right? Because you could put a mood board together, but the client may not like one of the options on that mood board,
right?
So that's why sometimes you give them a couple different options, and they let them pick which one they like the best, and then sometimes they don't like either one. So then you have to kind of go back and research it again.
So in your experience, and Joel, your experience too, because you have a very specific elimination process called physics and the world of fluid dynamics and all that stuff, right? But what are some obstacles that customers come across that slow down the selection process? Like, what are some things that can bog that process down of selecting?
When you're putting a mood board together?
No, after the mood board. You got the mood board together.
Yeah.
Now you actually have to select stuff.
No, we already did. That's what the mood board is.
So in my interpretation here, when I'm doing my research, is this mood board is just like very
vague,
ethereal.
Yeah, it can be. I've seen those where they are. Here's the room inspiration. It's a picture that somebody pulled off of the internet.
Right. You're saying your form of mood board.
My form of mood board is the actual selections. I don't.
Gotcha.
I don't. Sometimes you'll use a mood board to get an idea across.
Right.
So I feel like there's more behind that.
I know. He just held back something. He's like, I'm not going to say that. What I was thinking. Okay, so then I'm actually spit it out, Chris.
Well, a mood board is no different than an Architectural Digest. Used to be. Magazines. People used to use magazines as their mood board. Now we have the internet. We can take the images off the internet and put them on paper. That's a mood board. People used to come in years ago with an Architectural Digest and show a picture of a room that they liked. That's a mood board.
And then your job was to get as close to that as you can, or
the perimeter. They'll bring in this picture and say, "I like this room," but the reality sometimes is the room isn't set up or situated in a way that you can pull it off 100%. But you can take the essence of that or the feel of that room and incorporate it into their space. So, I mean, we've been using mood boards forever. Because but in the past it was a magazine. Right. Now it's online.
Yeah, and then you can cut and paste it, and then
put it together on a board and say here.
But I have a feeling, Joel, you're more on my level of actual selecting the stuff.
That comes after you see the mood board.
Okay, that's where I was going, because I think the mood board's a great help to figure out what you are, but then when it comes to actually selecting the actual stuff that's
after the fact, after you show them the inspiration for the room.
Okay.
That's a mood board, but it's nothing more than inspiration.
Right. And I would feel
I just find it funny that, you can't start a project without a mood board. It's like...
You probably can. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, it's come on. I mean, this has been going on for decades.
Right.
But it's just changed because of computers versus print.
It's almost like a justification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, if somebody found a room that they really liked, they could take a picture of it. And either one of you guys could.
Well, I mean, back when I started in this business, we were encouraged to put a file together of magazine photos of rooms that people liked or that people would bring in their file. Mm-hmm. That was Pinterest before Pinterest. That was that was a mood board before mood boards.
But let's say you've got it was the pre-mood board.
Yeah,
it's a pre-meeting committee meeting. But let's say you've had the mood board now. You're now selecting actual things from that.
So you do a mood board, you show it to the customer. This is my inspiration, or this is the inspiration I was based on our conversation of a space. So that helps the customer visualize or the client visualize whatever room it is.
Right.
And then the client will say, yeah, that's close, but I would rather, but then what if we did da-da-da-da-da? So after you do the mood board, then you start making your selection, because as the designer, you now have you're dialed in on the style and the look that they're after.
Right. Now, at that point, like you've seen, Joel, like I'm sure in your world, you've seen some paralysis out of customers who can't pick or change their mind mid.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. That's a big delay, though, right? I mean, that's like.
It takes time.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be, right? If somebody's, when they start witnessing things actually happen, Well,
at that point, it's like, well, we're not really. You're limited on what you can change.
Once you start, there's certain points where it's like,
well,
you don't want to get to do-over situation.
Well, in Joel's world, if the client can't make decisions, then they can't start.
Or we can't finish.
Or they can't finish.
Well, and I think the congruency between having a designer and builder on the same project is kind of a big deal. Like
it is for sure.
Yeah, I think that's an asset to a customer, right? I mean, there's jobs,
generally speaking,
Joel, that you can do, and you don't necessarily need a designer because they're generic in some form.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's some stuff that's like straightforward.
Right. They already have all their furniture. They know the carpet, and they need the room configured properly or whatever. But there are times when it can be a real struggle. I think when we come back, we let's dive into that a little bit. Like some of the struggles that you have when you don't have that first eye, and then second eye, and then,
Yeah.
When we come back, let's talk about like, okay, yeah, the mood board's important, but what's next? This is Measure Twice. Welcome back to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors and Joel Graber from Graber Custom Remodeling. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential. And thank you very much for listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. This show, Measure Twice, is brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply. Everything windows, doors, cabinets, and countertops at the showroom right now. Open right next to C. Kramer Interiors, or very near C. Kramer Interiors. And Hoosier Hardwood Floors, Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You can visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. We're in the mood for a board. We're talking about your preparation and selection for your projects. And I really want to talk about some obstacles that you can avoid, right, by having a mood board or having that pre-planned, so you have that idea, right? And I think, Joel, in your experience, because you're at the moment things get installed, I bet, I'm just going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say, I bet you can sometimes pre-predict when a customer might have a problem with what's going in. And I bet you do everything you can to let them know ahead of time that, you've seen it firsthand, in other words, where somebody's like, kind of just like, I think I want this. And just do it, and then we'll see. That's got to be the worst language you've ever heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no such thing as we'll see. When that happens, and I'm sure it's happened, how do you slow them down? How do you slow the customer down?
When somebody, it's been a while since somebody actually has tried to do that.
That's probably because you're steering them. You know what I mean? Helping them make. I'm not saying that Joel is making the decisions for them.
We do try to cut that off at the pass.
Yeah, yeah.
By within the first meeting or two, because you can kind of get a feel of like if somebody really has a clear idea or not. And even if they have a clear idea, it's you mentioned in the last segment something about like how much better it works when you have a team working together on a project.
Right.
And it's just absolutely true to have a designer that you can trust and a contractor and the contractor has their team of subcontractors, and it moves so much better, so much smoother, because inevitably you run in a remodel, inevitably you run into stuff that maybe you have to change something. That's where we run into issues, is if we have to change something because we didn't know what we were gonna run into some vent or whatever. We're okay, now we can't place this here. Designer's going to be able to help with that. The brain. You have more minds, more experience, people who have an eye for these things.
Looking for a team,
right?
Like if you're doing a project in your home, you should be looking for a team that's going to do it. And it's funny that
But if somebody ever says to me, "Hey, we just want to get this going. Go ahead and start it, and
we'll work it out as we
go,"
that's
a non-starter.
Yeah, and that's a sign that you shouldn't start the job.
There's no clear understanding of really what you want.
Because it inevitably costs you more money if you start that.
Yeah. And that's where the problem is.
Right.
That's the rub.
And it's funny we're talking about this because we have Todd Zeiger from Indiana Landmarks coming in next segment.
Yeah, he has no idea how much it's going to cost him now.
But talk about when you're doing restoration like that and you're doing remodeling of something historic, talk about not knowing what you're going to find.
There's times, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have I don't think you x-rayed the walls. You know what I mean? Like you pull the wall back, it's an old home. There's crazy stuff back there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that's some things that go on, right? Like we're going to talk about when he comes in, like moving a door and pulling walls back and stuff like that. And there were surprises. I mean, I know what the surprises were because
you've gotten some of the behind the scenes.
Yeah. And you can visit that at Indiana Landmarks YouTube channel. We'll have some of those videos up probably early next week so that you can watch the progress of the show. But when Todd comes in, it's the epitome of, boy, do you really need a plan with historic renovation? Because if you don't have a plan, when you hit a roadblock, you have nothing to pivot from.
Yeah.
It's pretty, I can get intense if it's structural, and things like that. But as far as if somebody have you seen, Chris, people that were indecisive in the mood board and all that has helped them organize, right?
That's the point of it.
Right. Because that's the biggest roadblock probably is the prison of freedom. When you can do anything or there's so many decisions.
There's so many choices.
It can be paralyzing.
Yeah. I mean, people I hear it all the time. There's too many options.
Right.
Too many options.
Right.
So our job is to narrow those options down and to present 2 or 3
and
that we feel is appropriate for that project.
That's what I was going to say. That's where your expertise comes in.
Right.
And it's actually that limiting factor that the mood board, the designer, your construction team provide so that your parameters.
Yep.
Or you can at least lay some parameters down that weren't there.
Well, it's funny that it truly is actually liberating when there are parameters. That way it dials it in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
called compromise too sometimes.
Right. I'm sure you run into that, both of you, on a daily basis where there's a compromise where.
Well, because you're working. I was working with somebody. Am working with someone now who's building, and we were selecting their exterior doors, and we were limited by size. Well, when the size dictated what we could and could not do, which was contrary to what they wanted. So we ended up having to settle for. We didn't have a choice. It's this grain, this design. If you want what you really want, then we have to make the doors bigger, but we don't know that we can do that.
It's funny, too, because a lot of our designs that are based on historic, like, things like mid-century or, whatever, they were based on the conformity of what they had available.
Well, that and also, like, they did things in order to make things more as efficient as they could with what they had. So
right, and they made beauty out of that. It's absolutely beautiful. And here we are in today's day and age with almost unlimited resources, trying to look like back when they didn't have anything, right?
Can't do it.
You can't.
Can't do it. Cost is prohibitive to replicate something from the past.
Isn't that amazing?
For the most part. And you're not going to get the quality of the materials either.
It's all very sad.
It is sad.
We're too I don't even know how to say the word. Everything looks like plastic.
Mm.
Yeah, especially if you have a reference point. Like if you've never walked through a well-made 120-year-old home, you've never walked through one, you don't have the reference.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So you're it affects you less because you're like, oh, this is what it looks like.
And then I was in last week. I had to go to a house that was under construction, and the builder says, "Do you like this new, where there's no casing on the windows?
Yeah,
it's just drywall framed." Yeah. And he goes, "Do you like that look?" And I says, I'm a little more old fashioned. I prefer trim or casings around my windows, but now the new trend is not to do that.
I hate that.
I
think it's ugly. And I think people are going to regret that.
It's very institutional, right? I mean,
well, it's a look.
Looks like a school.
It's a look. It's a little bit more contemporary, a little cleaner. It's a cleaner look.
Sure.
But I like molding, so I like to
Doesn't
see
it look
detail.
Finished, right? Like
it looks finished.
It looks finished. It looks finished,
but it's not.
It's deeper than a standard window. They made it deeper, but it just doesn't look finished to me. But that's my personal taste. That's not. I'm not telling.
It's not right or wrong.
There is a specific look for it, but no, it's wrong. You'll end up regretting it.
Well, can you put trim if you have that? Can you add back?
Probably.
Trim?
Sure. I mean, sure you can.
Just takes money and
time.
But I mean, structurally, do you have to fundamentally change the window?
No. I mean, what you end up having to do is make a little bit of a mess. It's not the end of the world. It's just time and money.
Yeah, that's an example of. And when we talk to Todd, who's coming in next segment, if you're talking about windows, they're incredible. It really does. It matches the style of the old home, and
windows are a super important part of like your look, isn't it? I mean, in your design, it's going to affect that.
Oh yeah, I mean the wrong window on the wrong architectural style window on the house
will look crazy.
Oh, jeez,
that'd be awesome.
He could think of a place right now.
He's like, I got four in mind.
I can think of dozens, but
when Todd comes in, we'll venture down the Pellador house route.
Imagine trying to reproduce that house today.
Well, let's talk about it when Todd comes in. We'll be right back. This is Measure Twice. Welcome back to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Joel Graber from Graber Custom Remodeling, Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors, and Todd Zeiger from Indiana Landmarks. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential, and you're listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. We're brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply, everything windows, countertops, and cabinets and more, located right next to C. Kramer Interiors in Granger, and Hoosier Hardwood Floors, Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. Visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. Todd, welcome.
Great. Thanks for having me back.
And you're off air. He was just a wealth of, he just brings up historic sites like, oh, there's this thing that is associated with something we talked about.
Or historic people.
It's a blessing and a curse.
I mean, it's pretty crazy. It's like you're the librarian and historian of Indiana.
Yeah, when his wife can't fall asleep, she has him name off different historical sites.
You tapping into the Alexa in my house. How do you know that? I'm a little worried now.
Todd, the cure for insomnia is in here.
Another world there. Yeah, thank you for that. No, luckily, no. But
That's funny. Some people count sheep to go to sleep. He counts Victorian writers.
It's like,
That's pretty neat, though. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we're this is a segment we dedicate to the restoration of Pallador House downtown South. Well, it's not downtown South. I don't know. It's near downtown South Bend. It's in the city of South Bend. Actually, on Chapin, though. No,
Navarre and
Portage. I don't know why I said Chapin.
right at the
'Cause
corner
Chapin
where
House is
Portage
across the
becomes
street.
William.
Wait, that's right. I said that because Chapin House is across the street.
Right across the street.
But I like to say it's the home that's going to introduce everybody to the historic neighborhood when they come in. It's a phenomenal house. The owners of the Philadelphia Candy Company in South Bend, that was their home.
Yes.
And
Pallador family.
I'm just giving it the quick rundown. Pallador House was moved to this site in a really great manner. The video that's coming out this week will be on I'm getting him confused. That video is already out. On the one that I put out was on the inlaid tile on the front porch.
Yeah, it's spectacular.
Which moved without issue, which is amazing.
Yeah, everybody that walks in, they look at that floor on the porch, and kudos to Wolf House Movers and their amazing ability to move a inlaid tile floor without cracking.
It is incredible.
If you need to mail a house,
Yes.
those are the guys.
Yeah, absolutely. That was.
How many stamps did it take to mail this house?
We can talk about what that took to do, but it survived, and they did a fantastic job, and then it continued to provide lots of opportunities for challenges moving forward to structure it right to keep it standing. But that's a whole conversation.
but there's a lot going on in the house, and I know we're going to talk about some of the stuff that we, were done inside the house. But that floor, one of the things I think we couldn't get across in a, 45-second reel, but when you say it was laid in the cement, that means like you get one shot to put that together?
Yeah, I mean, they laid the cement floor, the slab on grade, and then they laid the tile on top. No different than you do a floor in a bathroom. Like Chris installs and Joel installs, tile floors and bathrooms on a really good subsurface. They start with the concrete, and then they lay down the tile.
Heavy mortar bed.
Yeah, heavy mortar.
Because it's flush. That's what blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like on a tile floor, it's flush because you just built. That's essentially the next floor. This has it's flush to the other cement. Yeah. It's really cool.
Yep, they had to do the math backwards, figure out the elevation, and kind of go from there. Absolutely.
Yeah. And how long ago was that?
Yeah, 100 years.
100 years.
Yeah, 110 really. Yeah, it's pretty spectacular, and it was really an important part to move that. Sometimes you don't move a porch floor if it's wood. But that's integral to the front walls of the house, which is a problem. And so we didn't really have a choice. We had to carry it and figure out how to structure it for the carry. And then after it was put in place, figure out how to carry it permanently underneath, which is there's a sea of structure underneath that floor now, because it was not intended to be a floor in the air in the basement, with a full basement under it. It was a floor on grade, right? Like, so it was not meant to be a ceiling of the basement. And so we had to restructure the entire thing underneath there. And now it makes a really cool wine closet in the basement because the ceiling is low.
I bet it's
pretty cool. It's actually a pretty cool space down there underneath there.
Now that there's stairs, we can go.
And there are stairs, which we're all very excited about.
This guy wasn't filming down there until there were stairs. I'm just letting you know.
I got to take away my extension ladder to the basement.
We're talking to Todd Zeiger from Indiana Landmarks and the restoration that's ongoing between the Measure Twice crew and Indiana Landmarks. Thank you so much for that partnership. It's really an honor to do that. And,
absolutely.
And the house is full of Easter eggs, and it's not just because one of I've shot video about some of the Easter eggs that are in there, but there's industrial Easter eggs there, like that inlaid tile, like pocket doors, like the way the structure was built and the problems they had to solve. Right when you're when you're in there, it's kind of interesting that there's all these really cool little things that are just different than you would see today. Last time we were talking about if you were to build Pallador House today, the walls wouldn't be they would seem bigger on the it's an enormous house.
It has a lot of square footage. It's a little bit deceptive, I think.
I agree.
You walk by it or whatever, the way it was built originally, and then you get inside and it just kind of keeps going. But it's not overwhelmingly big. It feels like a family home, which is what it's meant to be.
But you would lose that today is what we were saying, because the walls would only be 6 inches thick.
Yeah, it's very generous, and it has the largest pocket door I think we've worked on between the front parlors and the one that's in the dining room. They're just ginormous, which isn't a technical term.
Is that not a technical? How many square feet is ginormous?
Yeah, ginormous, big.
But here's where we are now. We're in full swing on upstairs bathroom and the kitchen. The first thing we had to do is hire a historic figure from Scotland to move a door. The William Wallace moved the door over.
That's true.
And he's a character. I'm not gonna lie, Todd. He's definitely he's different. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I mean, but he's definitely different.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He's like Crocodile Dundee meets, I can't say what I'm thinking.
He'll own up to it. It's his thing. He's awesome, William Restoration, and love William. He grew up very organically literally across the street. His folks restored the house, like caddy corner from the Polidor house, and grew up learning how to do it because they did their house, and mentored him over the years and just connected. And he's moved his experience and interest on to now a full-time gig. Started out on his own, just a single dude, doing stuff, and now has a crew and his people employed and is the go-to person in town. And now we can't hire him because he's too busy, and so we have to have to mentor somebody new, which is fantastic. Like that's what we really want to see in our Heritage Trades program that Landmarks is launching across the state, is exactly the Wallace Restoration type of thing, where somebody grows up organically, in a sense, gets the bug, and then starts a company and does restoration work and competes with Joel. I mean, we need more people, and William's awesome.
It's absolutely
can't get to them all,
and he gets them, and he gets it just like Joel does. That like you can explain something to him, you're like, okay, and then boom, there the door is. Like, cool, thank you. Right?
Well, it's funny.
Joel, you worked with him recently. You've talked to him.
Yeah, he was when you'll see the video if you follow us. Joel's like, let's see what's going on in here. We come in there, it's like, here's a door I've never seen. Like we don't, that's kind of the quirkiness of the business, so to speak. But the door had to move over in the kitchen.
The rear door in the kitchen, which we salvaged everything in the house as we took things down. And we salvaged that door from another location in the house, moved it over, and put it back in. So we try to reuse stuff as much as we can. There was a door there, and we just took it out and moved it over.
This is Measure Twice.
Podcasts by Federated Media.